Today, I'm going to show you how to set up branded shopping campaigns in Google Ads. I'm Liam, founder of Vulcan. We've generated over $50 million for Shopify stores using Google and YouTube ads. And this is a strategy we use in almost every account. So let's start by answering, what is a branded shopping campaign? It's a dedicated shopping campaign that only shows up when somebody searches for your brand. I'm sure you've heard of branded search campaigns, and I've got a whole video on setting them up correctly. I'll link it here. When somebody searches for your brand name, your competitors can leapfrog your organic listing and jump into the shopping placements on the search engine results page. A branded shopping campaign ensures that you're always there to stop that happening. So in that sense, it's really important for brand protection. And if you do decide to run any ads on your brand terms, it's so important that they have their own dedicated campaigns. Because what I see all the time are shopping campaigns and performance max campaigns that have a mix of branded and non-branded terms. And this makes these campaigns look like they're performing way better than they actually are. And because of that, you make bad decisions. Now, the challenge with shopping campaigns is that you can't control keywords like you can in search. So the way in which we isolate branded traffic is completely different. It's more nuanced, it's more technical. It requires things like campaign priority settings, negative keyword lists, but that's what I'm going to show you today. So let's talk about the settings involved in this setup. So I'll start with our non-branded shopping campaign. We want to set the campaign priority level here to high. This is our default campaign. We then want to add a branded negative keyword list. So that contains a series of keywords of our brand name, of variations of our brand name, common misspellings. We apply this to our non-branded shopping campaign because we never want our branded terms to be caught by this non-branded campaign. And then we set our target ROAS to whatever our goal is. In terms of our account metrics, are we looking for maybe a 200 or 300%? I call it a low T ROAS. Low is obviously very dependent on what your goals are, but you'll see what I mean when I talk about a high T ROAS in a minute. Branded shopping campaigns, on the other hand, we set these to low priority. So these are not our default. So by default, our shopping queries should flow into this non-branded shopping campaign, and then they get blocked by this branded negative keyword list and they go to the next priority level, which is hopefully going to be our branded shopping campaign. So low priority level for this branded shopping campaign. We don't add a branded negative keyword list because this is a brand campaign. We don't want to block branded keywords from serving, so we don't add that negative keyword list. And here we have our high T ROAS target. We know that branded terms convert 3, 4, 5 times more often than non-branded terms. They generally convert again 3, 4, 5, 6 times more efficiently. So if you have a CPA of $30 on your non-branded campaigns, you might have a CPA of $10 on your brand campaigns and something like that. So what we do is we set a really high T ROAS to ensure that Google is only focusing on our branded terms in this campaign. So it's the combination of the high compared with the low target ROAS here and the high compared with the low priority level here, and finally our negative keyword list that actually allows this sort of waterfall effect to occur. So once again, by default, all of our queries will hit our non-branded shopping campaign because it's the high priority level. But any queries that are blocked by our branded negative keyword list will flow into this, our secondary campaign, our low priority campaign, which is our branded campaign. And ideally, we should see a picture where this converts at a really high efficiency level. And then this is our vehicle to convert on more cold traffic. Now, in order for this to work, we need some things to remain the same. Our targeting ultimately has to be the same. These campaigns, aside from these changes and differences in settings that I've mentioned here, have to essentially be mirror images of each other. They have to be the same products, because if we have 99 products here in our non-branded shopping campaign, but we have 100 products here in our branded shopping campaign, that extra one product, it won't be covered by this campaign. So it will start to bring non-branded queries into this branded shopping campaign. So we don't want that to happen. The same thing applies with devices. If we want to block tablets from serving our non-branded shopping ads for this campaign, we need to ensure that tablets are also stopped from serving in this campaign. Otherwise, our branded shopping campaign acts as a non-branded campaign for tablets. It's, I know, a little bit convoluted maybe. The crux of it here really is that it needs to be the same settings. So the same applies with locations. So if we're targeting different states or if we're targeting different countries, so if this is the US and Canada, and this is the US, Canada, and Mexico here in our branded shopping campaign, we have Mexico as another target in this campaign here, but it's not a target here. So by default, all queries triggered in Mexico will go here first, and we lose that branded filtering effect. And the same applies with audiences. If we're doing specific audience targeting, I know a lot of you won't be doing that, but if you are, you need to make sure you're targeting the same audiences in each campaign. So I want to show you what this looks like inside in a real account. So in this account here, we have a branded search campaign, we have a branded shopping campaign, we have 2 performance max campaigns, and we have a non-branded shopping campaign. These have been sorted in order of conversion value divided by cost, or ROAS. So we can see our branded search campaign here has a ROAS of 15.49. And next up here is our branded shopping. This has a ROAS of 8.57. So again, super high. If you look at the target we have set this branded shopping campaign, it's 900%. So it's far in excess of the targets we have set the non-branded campaigns. So this is a non-brand performance max campaign, and the reason it's non-brand is if I go into settings, and this is what's really important, not only are we adding negative keyword lists to our prospecting shopping campaigns, our manual campaigns, but if we're using performance max, we also need to either add negative keyword lists, or we can also use brand exclusions, which is what we've used here. And again, that's what ensures that this system will work, that our branded campaigns, our branded search and our branded shopping are going to receive those branded terms. And then our non-branded campaigns are only going to go after non-branded terms. So our prospecting shopping campaign then inside in our negative keywords has our brand negative keyword list. You can see once again that our target ROAS goals here, 350, 340, 330, they're far lower than our target ROAS on our branded shopping campaign, which is 900%. Some common pitfalls with this strategy. The first is that if you are managing your non-branded shopping campaign and you see a term that you don't like, you see a negative keyword that needs to be added. Let's say you sell jewelry for men and you see a search query that specifies women and it's looking for necklaces for women. You might say that is not relevant to any of the products that I sell, so I want to add that as a negative keyword to my campaign. Now, if you do that and you don't add it as a negative keyword to your branded shopping campaign, then it opens up the opportunity for that particular search query to be blocked from your non-branded campaign and actually flow at a later date into your branded campaign. And of course, that's not a branded term. And in fact, it's not a term that we actually want to serve ads for at all. So instead of adding individual keywords like that, you can either add them to shared lists, so universal lists that would be applied to multiple campaigns. So in this instance, to your non-brand and to your branded shopping campaign. Or if it's something that you never want to serve an ad for across the entirety of your account, either now or in the future, across any campaign, you can obviously then add it as an account negative instead, and that will maintain the integrity of the system that we're setting up here for branded shopping. The next common pitfall is changing targeting settings of either campaign. So once again, if you decide that a particular location isn't doing well, perhaps you sell golf apparel and you're selling in the US and you know that the demand for golf products is very seasonal, and let's say it's in the winter months and you only want to target those southern states. But if you block all the other states aside from your typical southern states like Florida in your non-branded campaign and you don't take it over and apply the same targeting adjustments to your brand campaign, what actually happens is that your non-brand campaign works in Florida, your brand campaign will work as it should do in Florida and those other southern states, but your brand campaign will turn into a non-branded campaign for all the other states that you excluded from your non-branded shopping. So what you have to do is make sure that barring the settings I mentioned, like priority levels and negative keyword lists and TROAS, everything else is mirrored from non-branded to branded. And the last thing that I see happen quite often is whereby you run out of budget, your daily budget, in your non-brand shopping campaign. So let's say you've got $100 in daily budget and it hits that by 6 p.m. and it's capped out, so it doesn't spend any more. The next highest priority campaign will start to get all of the shopping queries, and that in this instance could be your branded shopping campaign, and then in that instance it acts as a non-brand campaign and it's no good. The whole system is falling down. So you do need to keep an eye that you have enough daily budget in your non-branded campaign to make sure that doesn't happen. You can also do things like shared budgets and that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to get into that today. And there you have it. You now know the right way to set up a branded shopping campaign. And if you'd like to take your Google Ads to the next level and actually scale your non-branded campaigns, the ones that will really help you grow your e-commerce store, then click the link in the description below and book a free call with me today. I'll personally audit your account, show you the unlocks available to you right now to help you scale your e-commerce store into the high 7s and 8-figure mark. And if you like this video, why not subscribe? I release 3 videos every single week teaching you really high level strategies just like these to get the most out of Google and YouTube ads. So I'll see you at the next one.